ripping me. He's calling me names for how I handled my team. Buddy, you had 20 weeks for your own team to play better. Don't be mad at me.
The passion.
Mac Jones is fighting not just for his Patriots job, but he very well may be fighting for his NFL future.
The opinions on all your favorite teams.
For the Red Sox, it can't always be about next year. It can't always be about down the road. Where's the team that battles for now?
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? A very happy Tuesday here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. We got a full show tonight, all 90 minutes. We're up until 7 o'clock. We got Game 7 tonight of the NLCS between the Phillies and Diamondbacks. This one, Ranger Suarez against Brandon Pfaadt. Should be a great game. I was not good on my prediction yesterday. Danny, you were right. Rangers in 7. That was surprising, right? Obviously, when you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. When you're this late in the season, anybody can beat anybody. But I was shocked to see the Astros lie down like that, or not even lie down. I was just shocked to see them get beat so handedly at home. And what Dusty Baker said after the game is right. Every team in the league would trade in whatever their 4 years were for the Astros last 4 years. 4 championship series appearances, 2 World Series appearances, and a World Series title. It's been amazing what they've done. They didn't necessarily blow it. They did truly just get beat. The Astros had a lot of injuries this year, too. So it really is remarkable what they did, that they're able to constantly get back in this spot. I'm shocked, though, at how easy Texas made it look yesterday, right? I mean, Christian Javier had a .71, 071 batting average against in his playoff career, which was like the lowest all time through a 4-start stretch in the playoffs. And they got all over him, and he didn't even make it out of the first inning. So see what happens in the NL tonight, but either the Phillies or the Diamondbacks will take on the Texas Rangers. You can get in 802-585-3026. Full show. Got some Patriot stuff. Adam Taylor from Celtics blog is going to help us get ready for the Celtics season ahead. That begins tomorrow when the C's take on the New York Knicks, and that game is tomorrow at 7. We got 2 NBA games tonight, a full slate of NHL action. We got a lot of things here. Danny, Lego.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
The opening thoughts in the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and by Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center with locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Swanton Lumber, also Rouse's Point, New York. They're online at sticksandstuff.com. All right, so yes, the cat is out of the bag. It is my birthday. I was not going to mention it because, I'm into self-promoting this show. I'm not necessarily into self-promoting me. It is my birthday, and, it's a Tuesday. So I was like, what's the reason you don't celebrating on a Tuesday? But Kaya put it out there in the party calendar this morning. She put it out there in the afternoon. I appreciate that. A couple of texters have gotten in. I've heard from a couple people out of there in Barrie. Heard from a couple people out there. Our guy Ross, who gets in on the text line. We heard from Pam. I heard from Jeff. So a lot of people saying happy birthday. I do thank you all for those wishes. Very, very nice of you. 34 years old, officially in my mid-30s. I think 33 is probably mid-30s, but I kind of was willing to go 31 to 33 was early 30s, 34 to 36 is mid-30s, 37 to 39 is late 30s, and so officially in the mid-30s now by however you slice it here. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I know there are people listening saying oh, you're lucky. I wish I were in my mid-30s. That's true. I'm not here to tell you that I'm old and used up. I'm just here to tell you that I can't believe it. I can't fathom a world where I'm 34 years old. In my mind, I don't know if other people feel like this. In my mind, I'm forever 21. In my mind, I'm still an athlete. In my mind, I'm still, staying up, watching my favorite teams every night and things like that. It just feels like I don't feel older. And I have a lot of responsibilities, right? I have a fiance and a dog and, apartment and rent and all this. I've been doing all that for years. And so I do adult things, but in my mind, I still feel like a kid. And I don't know if anybody feels that way. Danny, do you still feel like a kid at heart?
For sure.
Okay. Is there a point
We're both 21, right?
Yeah, that's what I feel. Seriously, I feel like I'm forever 21. And maybe part of it is the business that we're in. Like, we work in sports radio, Danny, and I know we do other things, right? I do the news, and you are producing a lot of our commercials here at DEV, and you were working with Vermont Viewpoint for years. So we have other things that we do outside of sports. We've certainly expanded our career profile, at least for me, in a way I never thought that I would. But we work in sports. We work in what they call the candy aisle of life. And maybe that's part of the reason why I still feel so young, is that I'm watching sports today in the same way I was watching it when I was 12 years old, 10 years old, and I'm getting just as emotional about sports as I was then, and it feels the same, right? Maybe if I was going to an office every day and being an accountant, or if I was going out every day and selling insurance, if I was going out there and managing something, I might feel different. Like, I might feel more adult. I don't feel that way. I still feel like 21 years old. I'm going to go shoot hoops at the gym. I'm going to go home and watch the game at night. I'm going to hang out with my buddies and watch the football game and drink beer and have chicken wings. That's how I feel. And I don't know if that's good because it's some kind of fountain of youth thing, or bad because it's some kind of sign that I haven't matured yet. But that is how I feel. Like, I can't believe I live in a world where I am 34 years old. And it just, it comes at you fast. John says, I am 40 going on 10. He goes, self-drag your feet and enjoy. Have a happy birthday. Thank you. Glenn in Brookfield says, you're in your prime. Before you know it, you'll be 65 like me. That's our guy, Glenn. I appreciate that. And, I do feel in my prime in a lot of ways. I hear people talk about getting older and, getting sore and waking up and having something hurt. I don't know that I have that yet. I've had some things that make me feel old, right? Like, I've seen my first gray hairs in my beard. I've seen that stuff. So, like, I've had moments that are like, yeah, boy. I also no longer know, like, a lot of the new music out there. And that's kind of odd. And, like, if you ask me, like, oh, who's the hot up and coming actor or actress, I no longer know who they are. So there are things that make me feel old, but by and large, I feel exactly like I did. Like, I can, like, still picture, like, hanging out with my birthday in college, like what I did on my 21st birthday in college. I can picture that. True story, Danny. This is a true story. So, there was everybody has this place, and I don't want to implicate people. I don't want to give names. Everybody's done this before. Not everybody. The good people didn't. People like me, not so much. But, I had a go-to spot when I was underage, right? Kind of place that would kind of look under the rug, or look away when you walked in, right? I'm not saying I was going to get tanked every night at this place or whatever, but everybody kind of had this college place where you kind of knew you could get away with some things. So I had a drink in a bar before I turned 21, and no, I did not have a fake ID. That's what someone just asked. I did not have a fake ID. It just kind of, they looked the other way. It is what it is, and that place is no longer in business, and there you go. So, but I go there, and it's my 21st birthday, and I'm like pumped because I'm going to have my first legal drink there. And the bar owner is talking to me, and I told him, in a little bit of a woozy state, I'm like, hey, this is my favorite bar. I love coming here. And he's like, this is your 21st birthday. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I wasn't supposed to have told you that, so, whoops, my bad. And maybe that's why you're not in business anymore, because you didn't know those things were happening. I don't know. But, I still remembered what I did on my 21st birthday. And I still remember who I was with and where I was hanging out, what the dorm was like. And just, I don't feel old. But here I am getting older. 40 is going to be hard on me. I don't know. 34 does not feel hard on me. 35 might feel different to me. I've been trying to think, like, what birthdays really had feelings, Danny. Like, the obvious ones, right? 16 had a feeling. You could start, you could get your learner's permit. 18 had a feeling. You could vote and, register a vote and all that kind of stuff. 21 obviously had a feeling. 25 had a feeling. 30 had a feeling. I don't know what the next one after those are. 35 probably will do something to me, but I can't predict it. 40 definitely will. That's obvious. 40, 50, 60, 70, those are going to do things for everybody. But 35, I don't know. 35, I feel like will have a feeling, but I'm not there yet. So Texter says, happy birthday. Brady, have a great day. Thank you very much. Now, Danny, what are you? You're 26?
Yes.
Going to be 27?
Yep.
And when is your birthday?
December
what?
28th.
Okay, so you're gonna have
around the corner, sort of.
So you're gonna be in the Christmas New Year's block.
Right.
Do you know what day of the? Let's see. I got the calendar in front of me here. Do we know what day of the week that is yet? So December 28th. That is a Thursday, so we should have a show and we should be on the air and all that. Don't be one of those people that takes vacation off, like takes the holidays off. You got to be here so we can celebrate your birthday.
Okay, I'll be here.
And now, wait, does this mean
Maybe.
I have to get you a Christmas present and
No,
a
you don't have
birthday
to double
present?
up. We don't have to worry about that.
Because I already have your Christmas present planned. And now I need to go above and beyond to get you two things.
I don't think so. I think we're good.
I don't know. December 28th. I'm going to have to mark that down. We're all going to have...
I forgot your birthday present. I think we're good.
This is not how this works. You're the producer. You make me look good on the air. You make me look good on the air every day. I take care of you at the holidays. You do not have to take care of me. That's not how this works. So, all right. 802-585-3026. Appreciate all of you with happy birthday wishes.
We got one more person that wants to wish you happy birthday, Brady.
On the other side of the glass with you on the phone or what? Happy birthday! Oh my goodness, is that my buddy Arnie? That's not
your
real.
Friend.
That's not real.
That is real. From a time, it's real.
That's my buddy Arnie Spanier, but he didn't actually call in. You somehow pulled some strings and got him to do that or something.
That was found a couple of years ago. Saved for a while, just for the right time.
Wow. So that's my old buddy Arnie Spanier right there. Happy birthday! Fox Sports Radio, 250 million listeners at Fox Sports Radio. So I appreciate that. All right. Enough with the birthday stuff. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate Danny. We'll get really into the show. Patriots beat the Jets. You got me all flustered now. With Arnie. Patriots beat the Bills 29-25. Does it change how you feel about Mac? Does it change how you feel about the team? For me, it doesn't. I'll tell you why next.
If you need wood pellets, Guy's Farm and Yard in Morrisville, Williston, Montpelier, and St. Albans has a full line of them. Wood pellets burn efficiently and clean, and with the high cost of fossil fuels, it's a great alternative for heat. There's no mess like there is with firewood, and the efficiency of wood pellets is unmatched. Buy your wood pellets now at Guy's Farm and Yard, Portland Street, Morrisville, Berry Street, Montpelier, Taft Corners, Williston, and Fairfax Road in St. Albans. Online at guysfarmandyard.com.
Even when we can't be together, Vermonters know we can count on community. Now more than ever, we need to invest in that community. When you invest in Vermont with the Vermont Community Loan Fund, you're investing in Vermonters. Vermonters working the land, growing local food. Vermonters growing local businesses and creating quality jobs. Vermonters building community, one affordable home at a time. And Vermonters educating and caring for the next generation of Vermonters. The Vermont Community Loan Fund's impact investors are investing in equity, access, and opportunity for all Vermonters. A Vermont that lives up to its promise. A Vermont for all Vermonters. Join us. You can invest in Vermont with the Vermont Community Loan Fund. Learn more at investinvermont.org. That's investinvermont.org.
The 18th annual Big Dog Daddy year-end clearance sale is on fire at Lamoille Valley Ford. Tell them, kid.
Folks, don't let the noise about strikes and supply chain issues affect you, because at Lamoille Valley Ford, our lot is loaded with incredible deals. In fact, with over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles available, including the largest selection of Ford trucks we've had on the lot in the last 4 years, I can personally tell you at Lamoille Valley Ford, we're making deals every day. Right now, qualified buyers can get any new in-stock F-150 at Lamoille Valley Ford with 0% financing for 36 months. Or with $4,900 cash or trade down plus fees, you can get a 2-year lease on a loaded 2023 F-150 Super Cab for just $299 per month. Folks, the bottom line is we're making crazy deals to make room for next year's incoming models, and that means this is your opportunity to save money at Lamoille Valley Ford.
Woo! So drive routes 14, 15, or 16 to Hardwick and the Big Dog Daddy year-end clearance sale happening right now at Lamoille Valley Ford. And remember, at Lamoille Valley Ford, we know price matters.
If you are considering joining the Vermont National Guard, there are so many opportunities. What do you want to do? Do you want to learn about HR practices? Do you want to do construction? Do you want to be an electrician? Do you want to learn IT? I'm Staff Sergeant Niels Huisman, Vermont Army National Guard. The training is paid for. You're going to get in amazing shape. You're going to get certifications. opportunities. You can do that in the Vermont National Guard too and broaden your experience while getting paid to do this.
Visit btguard.com to find out more. Sponsored by the Vermont Army National Guard.
The WDEV studio is sponsored by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber, Vermont's largest independent home center, powered by Marvin Doors and Windows. Go to sticksandstuff.com for store locations and hours.
The Brady Farkas Show now has an interactive text line, so reach out now at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in. Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Full show tonight again up until 7 o'clock. You can get in 802-585-3026. It's 802-585-3026. All right, so Patriots have 2 wins now. We're obviously happy about that. Patriots beat the Bills 29-25. We're happy to see the Patriots win in the division. Again, they've actually got 2 wins in the division now, having already beaten the New York Jets. My question for you is, does Sunday's result, does Sunday's performance change the way you feel about Mac Jones? Right? A lot of you, most of you were out on Mac. Does Sunday change the way you feel about him? 802-585-3026. Danny, I want to start with you. Okay? You watch this game with as critical an eye as I do. You watch this game from a fan's perspective also. Do you feel differently about Mac based on what you saw on Sunday?
Not incredibly different. I think we knew he was capable of something like this with some time to throw, but no, not completely different.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I completely agree with you. Now, I want to play the audio from Mike Giardi of NBC Sports Boston and the Boston Sports Journal, because he was talking about kind of how big this is for Mac also.
What can it do for him? It can certainly help him with the locker room, which I think we've talked about quite a bit over the last weeks, months, even back to last year. Guys being out on him, guys not believing in him. And I don't know that one game changes that, but at least, hey, it happened. He did it. Big spot, division opponent, where we kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter, and he let us down the field in such little time. You'll hear little, nuggets. The last time they've scored, it's only 3 times in the last 30 years, walk-off touchdown or last 15 seconds, and he's one of the quarterbacks.
So, couple of things. I think Giardi's right that Sunday was huge for Mac, right? It's huge for things like confidence. It's huge for things like belief. It's huge for things like validation of your process, for reaffirmation of your skill set. Anytime you've been beaten down repeatedly, and that's what Mac Jones has been over the course of the last year and a half, and certainly over the course of the last month here with the media and the fans and everything happening to him in Foxborough, when you've been beaten down like that, getting something nice to happen to you, getting something good to reaffirm your skill set is a very good thing. So I absolutely agree that Sunday was huge for Mac. As far as the confines of that locker room, I think Sunday was probably pretty big for that as well. I do believe there will be a re-belief in Mac by his teammates. I do believe that there will be a kind of rallying around Mac that maybe wasn't there the last couple of weeks. The crew that wanted to go to Zappy, the crew that wanted to go to Cunningham will back off. I think that is good as well. So for the internal operation of the Patriots, I think Sunday was big. For me, on the external side of things and how I look at it long term, it doesn't change a lot. Danny, I think you said it best there. We knew this was in Mac, but it also proved everything I've already thought and already said. Mac needs things largely to go his way in order for him to put up those performances. And I don't want to take away from what he did, because he did have some adversity. He did. And he overcame it. Coming back from blowing a 12-point lead to ultimately lead a game-winning drive, that is a big deal. And that deserves to be praised. But, again, look at what happened, right? Patriots scored first. Patriots forced a turnover defensively on the first play of the game. When the Patriots are up 10, when you are up 10-0, a lot of quarterbacks can look really good, right? And again, I don't want to take away from Mac too much, but it doesn't materially change what I think for the long-term future of the organization. He's still a guy that is going to need things to be kind of put in place. They score first, they get up 10-0, they force the turnover, they get short fields. As a result, they're able to run the ball. As a result, there's more balance. Pop Douglas delivers a great punt return. Now they're on the plus side of the 50. Bills didn't have Ed Oliver playing. You look around, and all of these things happened and kind of stacked on each other over the course of the game, and all of that allowed Mac to play well. Okay? I look on the other side, and I look at Josh Allen, and I think to myself, that's still the guy I want. Now, he had a dreadful turnover on the first pass of the game, right? Jabril Peppers' interception. That was a bad play by Josh Allen. But you look around at the end of the fourth quarter, 7 minutes to go, the Bills are down 12. And Josh Allen leads them down the field, and they have a lead. Right? That Mac's not doing that. Now, Josh benefited from the fumble as well. But, like, they got down the field. The pass to Diggs, Mac's not making that pass. The pass that Diggs ended up scoring the touchdown on. Even at the end of the game, when the Bills were trying to come down with 15 seconds left or whatever, Josh Allen threw a dart to Diggs 40 yards down the field, and Diggs dropped it. They had a chance there to get a Hail Mary in before the game to try to win it. Mac's not doing that. I look around the league, and I still see guys that have special in them, guys that don't need everything perfect. Josh Allen doesn't need everything perfect. Joe Burrow doesn't need everything perfect. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need everything perfect. Perfect obviously helps, but those guys don't need it. They're capable of overcoming. I don't believe that Mac is that guy to be able to do it and be able to do it consistently. Look around yesterday, right? Look at Brock Purdy. People are ready to give Brock Purdy the MVP. And last week, you see Christian McCaffrey go off the field, and you see Deebo Samuel go off the field, and Brock Purdy's not the same, and the weather is not perfect in Cleveland. And then yesterday, Christian McCaffrey is maybe a little hobbled, and Deebo Samuel's not playing, and the defense loses Fred Warner for a little stretch of time. It was only a couple of plays, but like things are happening now where the Niners aren't as foolproof as they were 3 weeks ago. Okay. Some of these guys get exposed to some degree when those things happen. I think Mac is that guy. Mac Jones to me is an average to good quarterback. I can't pay $45 million for that. That is what this comes down to. I think there's a perception that people have that I think Mac Jones is awful. Mac Jones is not awful. Mac Jones is not worth $45 million a year. There's two very different things. What the Patriots have made a mistake in doing here is that while Mac is on a rookie contract and is cheap and affordable, they haven't given him the help that he clearly needs, right? Brock Purdy's cheap and affordable. He's got all kinds of help. The 49ers have built it right around him. Geno Smith last year was making $1 million for the Seahawks. They built some things, a nice infrastructure around him. Okay, I look at other teams, right? Joe Burrow was cheap for a while. The Bengals went out and added to their offensive line. Jared Goff in L.A. was cheap. And they went out and they got Jalen Ramsey. And they got, they added pieces. Brandon Cooks. And they got to the Super Bowl. Right? The Rams were spending like drunken sailors. We're trading draft picks like drunken sailors. Look at what the Eagles have done with Jalen Hurts. Right? They're giving him everything. Last year they got him A.J. Brown. And they went out and they got Hassan Reddick now. Like, they've got a lot of stuff. Where the Patriots have failed is that they have taken Mac's cheap and affordable years and wasted them. And now he's not going to be cheap and affordable. And I'm telling you, he's not worth that money. If Mac Jones, if the Patriots had done what the Niners did, he could have been Brock Purdy. If the Patriots had done what the Rams had done, he could have been Jared Goff. But now I can't pay an average quarterback great quarterback money. Look what's happening to the Giants. Okay, because what's happening to the Giants could absolutely be the Patriots if they gave Mac Jones $45 million a year. I like Daniel Jones' skill set too, but you know what? I like Daniel Jones at $18 million a year, not $40. I like Mac Jones at $15 million a year. I can't like him at $45. That's what's going to happen. Look around the league, right? Deshaun Watson, that's going to be an albatross. And while the Browns have a great defense now, you're not going to be able to keep that. Okay. And they're going to be deficient in places soon if Watson keeps looking like this. The 49ers, why could they not wait to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? Because they said we're paying a good quarterback, great quarterback money. And we just can't get over the hump. Why did the Rams trade Jared Goff in the first place? They said we're paying a good quarterback, great quarterback money. Can't do it because we can't build fully around him. What's wrong with Denver right now? We're paying an average to good quarterback, great quarterback money, and the rest of the roster is depleted. Why did the Packers not want to keep Aaron Rodgers? Because they said, okay, we don't want to pay a guy that's 40 years old this much money. So nothing changes for me how I feel about Mac Jones long term. I still think he could be a quarterback in this league. I just ultimately think that he's going to be the fill-in guy for when you have a young quarterback who you're looking to groom or when somebody gets injured. Doesn't mean that Mac Jones can't make $8 million a year. And I could see him starting for teams that aren't the Patriots. But Teddy Bridgewater started for teams. And Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield have started for teams, right? Mayfield this year, Darnold last year. And Geno Smith is starting for a team. There are quarterbacks like Mac Jones that have jobs, that deserve jobs, that are good enough to have jobs. But they're not in 5-year contracts worth $200 million. That's where I can't go with Mac. Danny, I look at it, as efficient as Mac was the other day, you know his passes averaged 3.3 yards from scrimmage. We're not talking about a guy who drove the ball down the field. We're not talking about a guy who, put the ball in the numbers in the middle of the field. We're talking about a guy who used swing passes to Ramondre Stevenson and wide receiver screens to Pop Douglas. And I like all of that stuff. But you got to be able to make the Josh Allen throw down the field at some point. And Mac's not that guy. And again, I don't want to crush him. I love what he did on Sunday. It was a huge win for him, and it was great for his confidence. It doesn't change how I feel. He's still the same guy. He needs everything around him to be perfect. The offensive line has to play well, has to be intact. Defensively, Buffalo has to be a little bit banged up, right? They didn't have Tre'Davious White. They don't have Ed Oliver. Okay, now it's a little easier to move the football. You've unlocked something in Pop Douglas. I want to see more of how that goes. That might be something that's there to help Mac in the future. But we saw what Mac looked like when there was chaos around him, and it wasn't great. 3.3 yards per pass yesterday, or Sunday rather. 3.3 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's not what I need. At this point, I need special. So, yeah, I want the Patriots to draft a quarterback next year. And I know they might win more games than you want them to, and they might not get the top 2 pick or whatever. But if they can get pick number 11, can they get a quarterback there? Maybe. Patrick Mahomes, I think, was 13 or 15. Can they find someone special in the 8 to 12 range? Can they trade up and finally be aggressive to go get somebody in the top 5? I don't know. But I'm interested in seeing. I think that is the best move for the Patriots moving forward. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Text says, Pat should trade for Justin Fields. I would love for the Patriots to have Justin Fields. The problem is that he's in the same contract situation as Mac is now. He's about to not be a bargain, right? You're going to have a $25 million player option on him. And right now, he's probably not worth $25 million, same as Mac's not worth $25 million. So he's a depreciating asset now as well. So, I mean, frankly, I'd be more interested at this point, spitting off the top of my head, in trading Mac, getting a mid-round pick maybe, signing Ryan Tannehill for a year to be that stopgap guy, and drafting somebody. Or keeping Mac and letting him start the year next year, and then have somebody waiting in the wings. But I just don't see long-term from Mac in Foxborough. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Joe says, happy birthday, Brady. You are one of the best sportscasters in the state, and I enjoy listening to you every day over the past few years. Thank you very much, Joe. That means a lot to me. Tomorrow is our show's 3-year birthday. We'll reflect a little bit on that when we come back next after CBS News here on DEV.
This is WDEV.
Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top of Sugarbush at 96.1 FM, WDEV Warren and Waitsfield. In Barrie at 96.5. In Montpelier at 98.3. Along with our founding station, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury, Montpelier. Streaming at WDEVradio.com. 92 years of serving Vermont. The friendly pioneer, WDEV.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Monica Ricks. House Republicans are now regrouping after losing another candidate for Speaker. CBS's Nicole Killian tells us Minnesota's Tom Emmer is out.
At the end of the day, there were about 10 to 20 members who were not backing Emmer. He spent several hours trying to talk to some of them. Obviously, it does not appear that he was successful if he has now made this decision to drop out.
Former President Trump weighed in.
So I disagreed with him on a lot of things over the years, and I assume it had a big impact.
He's being blamed for tanking Emmer's bid on Truth Social last night. 6 Republicans have since stepped up. Israel is livid with UN Chief Antonio Guterres today, who seemingly justified terror attacks by Hamas.
The attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. They have seen their land steadily devoured by settlements and plagued by violence.
Israel's ambassador Gilad Erdan.
How can the Secretary General, with his words, justify in any way the terrible atrocities that happened to our civilians, innocent civilians?
He's calling for Guterres to resign. Meantime, many could die in Gaza soon if they run out of supplies. CBS's Holly Williams.
We know that those that are functioning are relying on fuel for power, and they say that that's running out. Now, to give you an example of what that means in one hospital, they are warning that the 50 or so babies that they have in incubators, they're saying that if the fuel for their power runs out, they are warning that those babies will die.
Aid is trickling in from Egypt, but the U.S. says it's not fast enough. In Georgia, former Trump attorney Jenna Ellis apologized after pleading guilty to election interference charges.
I believe in and I value election integrity. If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges.
She is the 4th defendant now to plead guilty. 5,000 more auto workers walked off the job today.
GM's Arlington, Texas plant makes the company's big SUVs like Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, and Cadillac Escalade. Analyst John McElroy says big utilities mean big profits.
That is the most profitable plant that General Motors has. In fact, some people say it is the most profitable assembly plant in the world.
That's reporter Jeff Gilbert. Police in Oregon say an off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot may have been high on mushrooms when he tried to cut the engines on a plane mid-flight. Court documents show Joseph Emerson believed he was having a nervous breakdown. This is CBS News.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Waterbury invites you to think local, buy local, and be local by experiencing our many recreational opportunities with something for everyone in your group. You can hike, bike, walk, run, paddle, skate, and stroll, and even swim in Waterbury. Between the Perry Hill Bike Trails, Little River State Park, and Waterbury Reservoir, there's year-round fun for all levels. Get outside and start your next active adventure. Our small businesses and colorful mix of restaurants have everything you need to create an unforgettable experience. Even your dog will have a great time.
Want to know how to save on gas? Get your car checked out by Al Karen and the team at Waterbury Service Center. Cars that are well maintained get better gas mileage, so take your vehicle in for a tune-up to ensure that you're getting maximum fuel efficiency on all your summer adventures. Schedule an appointment now to take care of your annual inspection, get an oil change, and make sure your car is ready for all the road trips, vacations, drives to the mountains, and more. Waterbury Service Center is a full-service auto mechanic conveniently located in downtown Waterbury. Call 802-244-7202 to make an appointment.
In October's Vermont Biz, we profile Green Mountain Power's president and CEO, Mary McClure, who is positioning the company to stand on the revolutionary edge of our energy future. Under McClure's leadership, GMP is transitioning from a traditional utility into a technology company. Vermont Biz focuses on travel and tourism with a look at vacationing in Vermont. The industry weathered this year's storms and looks forward to a brighter future, starting with fall foliage. Read to find out why many are bullish on this season's prospects. Our Our economic report on Bennington County shows all indications are optimistic. Despite shortages in housing and childcare and flooding over the summer, this community's spirit is undampened. We also introduce you to the friends who started a business as they searched for a way to connect with their loved ones diagnosed with dementia. Their solution? It's all in the cards. All this and more is in the October issue of Vermont Biz. Serious business, serious news. For a subscription, call 802-863-8038 or go to vermontbiz.com.
Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. We're going to talk with Adam Taylor of Celtics blog in a couple of minutes. NBA season begins tonight. 2 games. Lakers Nuggets tonight, the world champion Nuggets. They'll get their rings and unveil their championship banner. And then also the late game tonight is the Suns and Warriors. I'm interested in watching a little bit of both games, more so the late game. I'm going to be wrapped up in NLCS game number 7. So I'll be more interested in baseball early, basketball late tonight. I'll be interested in seeing how the Warriors look. And Chris Paul, speaking of getting older, I don't think Chris Paul's long to play 82 games this year, but I do think Chris Paul could be a significant piece for the Warriors. I don't want to be too living in 2012 or so, but Chris Paul to me is a guy who just knows how to make the right play. And I think a little less ball handling needed for Steph Curry and a little more just getting open is always going to be good for the Warriors. So I think the Warriors, I think it kind of goes without saying that they'll be good, but if they can stay healthy, I think they'll be very, very good. They're certainly older with Draymond and Steph and Clay and Paul, all over 30 now, and some of them have played they've all played significant amounts of basketball. It's like extra season on those tires there. So I'm interested in watching the NBA, but Adam Taylor will be with us in a couple of minutes. Celtics are taking on the Knicks tomorrow in their season opener. Danny, did I tell you that I had 12 Taco Bell tacos over the span of 2 days? Did I tell you that story?
No. How are you feeling?
I felt good. This was Sunday into Monday. Taco Bell is my favorite fast food place. This is not a secret. Everybody knows this. Yes, for the buy local crowd, I go to local places all the time too, right? Like Martone Subs in Essex, the places in Edithsburg. I've driven all over for local stuff. So don't crucify me for having Taco Bell. Yes, I've had it before. So I go, I drive. I'd say it's a haul for me to get to Taco Bell, right? So when I go, it's a treat for me. I don't do it often, but when I do it, it's a treat for me. So Jess always makes a lot of food on Sundays, right? For football Sunday. She loves football, but she also loves cooking, and she's really good at it. And so she was making a bunch of food on Sunday, but the food was going to be, and she had told me the food would kind of be planned for the late football games and into the night. So like starting after 4:00. So for the early games or, for lunch, I was thinking, all right, well, I'm going to go get something. So I wanted to go to Taco Bell. And she didn't come with me. She didn't want it. That's fine. So I go there and I get there and I'm about to order and they go, hey, we're out of big tortillas. We can't make quesadillas, burritos, or Crunch Wrap Supremes. I'm like, well, that's like 3/4 of your menu. And they're like, yeah, we know. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to leave. I could have gone to any number of other fast food type places. Like, no. I'm here. This is what I want. So I ordered the Taco Bell party box, 12 soft tacos, thinking that maybe Jess would have 1 or 2. And she ended up not wanting any of them. So over 2 days, I had to consume 12 soft tacos. I had 5 in the restaurant on Sunday and then had 7 for lunch yesterday. 7 tacos. Danny, what's the maximum amount of tacos you think you could have in one sitting?
Are these like fun sized, or you said they were out of the large?
Well, yes, they were smaller. They're smaller tortillas. They're not full bread like quesadilla size tacos.
I could probably do 7, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, we used to, when I was like in high school, they used to sell 10, I think. And I think I had a buddy who could have all 10. I never was able to. I think 7 was about the max that I ever had. I don't know if I might be able to get to 10 now. Again, I don't know that I'd feel great afterwards, but I might be able to get to 10. But I did get to 7 today, or yesterday, I should say. That was yesterday's lunch. So, all right, 802-585 30-26. There was something else I was going to tell you, Danny, but now it has slipped my mind. So it'll have to come back to me here. But we do have NLCS Game 7 tonight on the air. It's Diamondbacks and Phillies. I'm looking forward to watching that, as I said. And then again, the NBA game tonight. Texter gets in and says, I'd rather have Gardner Minshew be my Patriots quarterback next year than Ryan Tannehill. That's fine, whatever. Like, if you're going to trade Mac and you want a stopgap guy until somebody young is ready, they're all interchangeable to me, right? Gardner Minshew is the same as Ryan Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill has a better skill set than Gardner Minshew does. Ryan Tannehill was a first-round quarterback. Gardner Minshew, I believe, was undrafted. If not undrafted, he was a very late pick out of Washington State. And I like Gardner Minshew a lot. Gardner Minshew is more fun. He has a fun factor to him, but Tannehill has more actual skill and has the raw athleticism, right? He's a former wide receiver, so he's got the ability to run and maybe be more creative on offense. Again, we're way down the road on that. I listed it the other day that I think there's a 60% chance that Mac Jones starts the year as a quarterback next year, right? Like a 60% chance for me that Mac starts the year as a quarterback. I gave it a 10% chance of him finishing the year as quarterback, but I don't know necessarily that they're going to move on. They're not going to cut him, that's for sure. As for trading him, I'm not convinced they'll do that either. If they did, Tannehill, Minshew, they're all kind of fine to me. But, I think we're far away. I think we're far away from that. Texter says, I don't feel my age either, but my knees, however, do feel my age. They say that I am double. This texter says I am double your age. Danny, do you care about your birthday still? Like, is your birthday something that excites you as you get older?
Not like it was when I was a kid, but yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit.
Any big birthday plans? With the birthday that's so close to Christmas and New Year's, do you ever have big birthday plans, or does everything get kind of lumped together?
I mean, it's its own day, but it's not usually big plans around it because Christmas already happened. My
brother's birthday is New Year's Eve.
Wow.
So
how does that work in the growing up?
Well, it was fun, right? Like, well, I can't speak for him, but yes, he did get gifts for Christmas and did get gifts for his birthday. But so you're kind of holding some gifts that are really good that you could have given him on Christmas that you end up giving him on his birthday. As for like things he would do, it was always fine, like having people over, like having people go places. New Year's Eve is not like a typical day where things are closed. If you're talking about like a Chuck E. Cheese type place, people can still go there in the day, and then their parents would still have their plans at night. As he got older, it became a little harder to coordinate things because he'd have plans with his friends based around New Year's, but it's also his birthday. So are we having, a birthday lunch, and then he's kind of having his own thing at night. So yeah, that was a little bit different, but it always was fine. So his birthday is coming up on New Year's Eve. So.
Actually, I have a cousin who's on Christmas, so she hated that growing up.
That would be weird, I would think.
Yeah.
Or that would be tough, right? Because the day is you want your birthday to be about you, but really it's not about you because it's Christmas. And now the gifts everything's lumped up in one. And unless you're going to get if you're someone that usually got 10 Christmas gifts, and now you're getting 20 total things, well, I could see that being pretty cool. But you're not getting the requisite attention that you'd usually want because all your friends are busy. They're not around on your birthday. And everything is closed on your birthday for the holiday. So it's not like you're able to go anywhere. There's not a whole lot of special dinners happening on Christmas Day. There's not a lot of, so you're constantly planning things for a week early or a week late. I could see that being tough. So we do have our guest on the phone line now. This is Adam Taylor over at Celtics blog, who I'm very, very excited to talk to. The first time we've ever spoken to Adam. The Celtics are opening up their season tomorrow. They're doing so against the New York Knicks. It feels like they played the Knicks a million times in the last couple of weeks because of the preseason schedule. But Adam, thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for the new season.
Appreciate you being with us. Where are we talking to you from right now?
England.
How does one in England become a Celtics fan?
I grew up in the 90s, so you had like 4 teams, right? So it was like they showed Lakers games, Chicago Bulls games, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics. Everybody gravitated towards the Bulls because of Jordan, obviously. The people that wanted to be different gravitated towards the Lakers. And me, I've kind of England soccer's ubiquitous.
I know, that was funny
here, right? It's ubiquitous here. The rule with soccer is you support the team that's geographically closest to where you live, and Boston is geographically closest to where I live. So it kind of just fell that way, and then I've been following the team since 1994.
Are you constantly watching games live at 1 a.m. your time?
Oh, no chance, dude. So I turn all my
He didn't call me
notifications
mate.
off on the night of a game, and then I watch around about 5
Cheers,
a.m.
mate.
my time. I'll wake up. So just as the game's finished, I'll get an
I don't
early jump
know.
on the day, rewatch the game on League Pass. I'm probably done 2 hours, maybe 3.5 hours after the game finished. So I'm ready. I'm around for when all the post-game press conferences finish, and I can consume them and have everything ready to publish the next morning for when America wakes up.
Are there a lot of NBA fans in England?
There's more than you think. It's growing quickly. There's definitely a growing presence here. A lot of Celtics fans, a lot of Warriors fans, Lakers fans, and then you have a sprinkling of smaller market fans as well, usually with some connection to the city. Maybe they have family there, or they went to high school there, or whatever it may be. But it's growing, definitely.
Have you been to an NFL game in London?
I have not. I've flown across to America with people, with Americans that have come to watch a game in London, and I've just happened to be on a flight out of England at the same time as them. But I haven't done an NFL game in London. The tickets are too expensive, man.
Really? Okay. Well, I kind of figured they were expensive. We're talking with Adam Taylor of Celtics blog here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV. All right, let's get to the Celtics at hand here as they get ready to take on the Knicks tomorrow night. What are you most interested in seeing about this Celtics team?
For me, it's about the rotations. It's about the minutes distribution. They've got 6 starting level guys now, with Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday coming in during the summer. Figuring out who gets the ball the most in what spots, whether you want Porzingis shooting threes or working from the post, how you want Tatum to attack, whether you want him being more off ball and coming off screens or initiating the offense. There's just a lot of mouths to feed right now.
Yeah, he was good.
And just seeing how that kind of plays out in a game that actually has meaning rather than
I knew you must have been excited if you listened to it pre.
That's going to be interesting to see because you need to keep everybody happy.
My biggest concern about the team a couple of months ago after Marcus Smart was traded was about leadership and was about would there be some kind of infighting to race to the top of the leadership hierarchy. You've got Tatum, you've got Brown, you've got Horford, you've got Holiday. All of them have leadership ability and leadership qualities. Does that leadership debate worry you at all?
No, not at all. I think that you defer to your best player in times like that. And if you listen to some of the comments that Brad Stevens made after the Marcus Smart trade, part of the decision-making process that went into moving on from Smart was sometimes Jason Tatum would defer to Smart down the stretch in the clutch. Sometimes Jaylen Brown would do the same thing, when really it should be Jason Tatum that's taking that final shot or making that final decision because he's your all-NBA guy. He's an all-NBA first-team talent 2 years in a row. Jaylen Brown's an all-NBA second-team guy. They should not be deferring to Smart just because of seniority in terms of years served. So I've got no concern.
What do you think about Holiday's impact? How big is it going to be?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I like to look at it as he's won a championship. He's been on a championship team. He understands the difference in building habits and building winning habits and how there's slight nuances to what you do now versus what you need to improve on to just take you that one step further. So I think he's going to have a lot to say, a lot of good impact. I don't think that there's going to be any fighting in terms of leadership there. And I think that he understands he'll play more of an off-ball role on this team compared to what he did with Milwaukee.
Do you care about this team hitting the ground running and running the table all season long and being the number 1 seed? Or are you going to allow this team 15, 20 games to kind of stub their toe, figure things out, and if they end up 12-8 at the beginning, doesn't really matter to you as long as they're good at the end?
Yeah, so my outlook is they went on a major run to start last season. They were just blowing everybody away. They go on a West Coast swing, lose, I think it was 4 games in a row, and then come back to the East Coast, and now they struggle to reach that level. And then they struggled to reach their early season level all year long, and it came to be like a weight that they were carrying. So if they start a little bit slower, but they figure things out a bit later in the season and then start to peak further down the line, that's great. But if they do lose a few early, the pressure that's going to come onto them due to the changes that they've made and the amount of talent, that's going to negatively impact them as well. So there needs to be a balance.
I think we all agree Milwaukee is the biggest competitor to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. But beyond that, who worries you, scares you, intrigues you?
New York have typically played Boston well. So in that mini series between the two, I think that that's going to be a tough stretch of games against New York. But in the grander sense, I don't think they're a contender in the East or anything. Cleveland,
yeah,
I think Cleveland could be a sneaky good team this year. They definitely gave Boston problems last year. They would have evolved a little bit with some internal development. Mitchell will improve. I really, really like Garland. I think Mobley's still got quite some way to improve as well. You never know what's going to happen with Philly, right? Like, who does Philly get in return for James Harden? Do they manage to swing a deal to bring another star in? Can Tyrese Maxey step up to be that second star alongside Joel Embiid? Nick Nurse wants them to move the ball more instead of be ISO. So I think Philly are obviously the number one choice to kind of be concerned with. But I have Cleveland as that sleep team. And that seems to be because a lot of the other good talented teams are still developing in the East. They've got a lot of young talent, but I just don't feel like there's many genuine contenders right now. Miami I'd put fourth.
What do you think of Joe Mazzulla's development? What have you heard from him that you like this offseason? He's talked a lot about his evolution as a coach and what he learned from last
season. He just seems more confident, right? One of the biggest concerns last year was, for me, it wasn't the fact that he was a rookie head coach, because Boston had just been to an NBA Finals with a rookie head coach the season before. So it would be disingenuous to kind of discredit him for not having any NBA experience that way. But it was the fact that now he's leading a team of coaches where he was at their level or working underneath them a week before the season got started, and now he's in charge of a whole program. I'm excited that he's got some really experienced guys around him. Sam Cassell, Charles Lee. You've got Van Gundy, more of an oversight role, So I think that really holds some weight, because now he's got people he can lean on, he can trust, people that can help him organize the defense down the stretch. Maybe, he's more offensive minded. And he just seems more confident in his ability to portray a message to his players. He's learned some lessons in how to, he mentioned not working on end of game scenarios and not working on not really preaching defense through the season, because to him, in his words, it's as second nature as brushing your teeth. Well, he's learned that you do need to harp on and preach about defense every day. You do need some end of game scenarios that you can lean on outside of just the basic sideline out of bounds plays they were running. So those are kind of the main things for me. It's just an evolution.
Adam Taylor, Celtics blog, with us here on the Brady Farkas Show, WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. Celtics opening up tomorrow against the New York Knicks. So, look, I think the Celtics, for me, it is championship or bust. They've made the moves. I think they've gone for it. I think it would be a disappointment if they don't win the title. Do you see it the same way?
Oh, for sure. They've made enough moves and added enough salary into the cap sheet that they're all in. They've pushed all their chips straight into the middle. They've gave themselves a year or two to do this with the window that they've got, but it's championship or bust now.
I completely agree with you. Adam, it was a pleasure talking to you for our first time. I thank producer Danny for helping turn me on to you and your work. We love Celtics blog. We loved it over Keith Smith, with Keith Smith running it, and you're going to do a great job as well. You've been doing a great job, but you'll continue to do a great job with the takeaways throughout the season. We look forward to reading your content over there at CelticsBlog.com, and then we'll catch up down the road.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. There goes Adam Taylor over at Celtics blog. Danny, good job by you. Got to give you the assist here. You turned me on to Adam. I've known Celtics blog forever. There was a guy over there named Nick for a while who I liked. There's also Keith who we had on, who we've had on a bunch of times on this show. But yeah, you turned us on to Adam. So good job for you. I didn't know he was across the pond though. I hope the higher ups don't get mad at us for the overseas call.
I don't know. Do we get charged for international? I don't know.
Well, maybe
he called in. Does that make a difference?
That makes a difference. Yes. It's better to ask though for forgiveness than permission. Remember.
Hey, we got good content out of it.
We did get good content out of it. Celtics season starts tomorrow. Danny is cutting up that audio as we talk right now, and we'll probably do more of it over the commercial break. So we'll get to what Adam had to say in the next break. Couple of things, Danny. You and I are going to do something tomorrow that I don't know that we've ever done at WDEV. You and I have to attend the sales meeting tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning.
Well, I'm supposed to attend all sales meetings, but it'll be a first together.
8:30 in the morning. The day after do these people know that it's my birthday today?
Oh, they don't care.
8:30 in the morning, the day after my birthday. I was going to have a drink or two and sleep in until 9, but I can't do that anymore.
Well,
do they not know? I mean,
they do because they announced it this morning, right?
I'm going to feel so out of place in a sales meeting. And they're all done virtually now, which is fine, just because it's easier for people who are at home or salespeople who are out on the road and whatever. But I'm going to feel so out of place in a sales meeting. I am not fancy enough to be a salesperson. I'm
not either. We'll just sit there and listen.
You know what salespeople do? They wear uncomfortable clothes. They wear suits and they wear ties and they wear fancy shoes, and then they go out and they can dress a little bit more comfortably. But I don't have that in me. I'm not a good salesperson. We've got a couple ideas for this show that it's good to kind of have everybody looped in on. So I appreciate that they invited us, but I don't belong there at more than one of these things. And at 8:30 in the morning, I don't know that I belong anywhere.
Maybe you do audio only so you don't have to dress nice.
That would be good. Oh, sorry, everyone. My camera's not working. Sorry, everyone. Could I do it from my bed? In that case, sorry, everyone. Camera's not working. My bad. Yeah, we'll see if we can get it back here. We can't. Okay. Well, just have to go like this. Maybe that could work.
And then mute yourself and eat your breakfast tacos, and everything's good.
I've had enough tacos for a while. By the way, tomorrow is the 3-year anniversary of this show. The 3-year anniversary of this show. It feels like yesterday, and I am so proud of what we have built, and I am so happy that Danny is now a part of this. I'm thinking back to when the show first started. We had no idea how it was going to work, right? Like, I thought that I could do this show. Like, I thought that I could fill 90 minutes of time. I thought that we had enough content. I thought that we could get good enough guests, but we didn't know how it was going to work, right? How it was going to be received. Were you all going to like it? Were guests going to want to come on consistently? Were we going to be able to get people like Tom Caron on or Buster and have them call on every week? And all that's happened. It's been a big period of growth over the last 3 years, and it's really, really awesome. So I thank the station for taking a chance on us. Or on me, I guess, for letting me do the show. I thank you for giving it a chance. By and large, still 3 years in, the feedback has been great. And I think about kind of all that's happened here since we started was, I remember first day of the show, Patriots got beat by the 49ers like 33-7 or something. Cam got benched. That was our first show, right? Monday after that, October 25th, 2020, right? COVID year, no fans. We had the Celtics get to the NBA Finals. We've had the Red Sox fire high and bloom recently. We've had the Bees, set an NHL record, UVM to the NCAA tournament multiple times. We've had a hell of a run here. Can't believe it. 3 years in tomorrow. Maybe we'll reflect a little more on it tomorrow as well. I wonder if the salespeople will give us a present, Danny, for 3 years. Hey, happy 3 years. I don't know how many radio shows make it 3 years. There are some radio shows that last 40, 50 years. And there are some radio shows that last 6 months. And this one has lasted now 3 years tomorrow. I would be interested, Danny, in if you could go back on the podcast channel and find the very first episode and read to us the description of what we talked about. I actually think that's fairly easy to find on Spotify. Maybe we can, hold on. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I think that's something that can be found easily. Let me see that. I'd be interested. I remember the thing about the Patriots having lost. Just getting absolutely killed. Our first guest on the show was former Patriots tight end Jermaine Wiggins. That's true. Our first guest on the show was former Patriots tight end Jermaine Wiggins. Brady talks about the Patriots' embarrassing loss to the 49ers and why Cam is still the starter, and he defends Cam from the critics. That's true. I did that a lot. brings on former tight end and Super Bowl champion Tremaine Wiggins and debuts several new segments like Daily Dose of Doug and Crazy Twitter Takes, 2 things we no longer do. So you talk about things, you talk about the show evolving. We had a bunch of segments I was so excited about, and we ditched them all after about a year. And now we just talk. And I think it's better this way. 6:30 here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. We're going to go through some of what Adam had to say. What are our biggest concerns about the Celtics? What are we looking forward to seeing out of the C's? Talk about it all next on DEV.
Hi, it's Lindsay D from Bolton Valley. 'Tis the season for all things season long. Sign your kids up for our season-long ski and ride lessons programs and get your season-long rental equipment for loading the lift or exploring the backcountry. But beware, if you haven't already gotten your season's pass, prices go up on Halloween. Unless you want us to pay you to ski and ride this winter. We're hiring full and part-time right now. However you find your way to BV this winter, I'll see you up here in just a few weeks.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RACE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RACE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RACE.
Benjamin Moore paints last, protect, beautify, and enhance the value of your home. See a variety of New England colors at Country Home Center in Morrisville. They only sell premium products and offer premium service. The two go hand in hand. For years, they've chosen Benjamin Moore as their premium paint line. Professional painters choose Benjamin Moore paints. They also choose the Country Home Center paint room for all those paints. See Caitlin in the paint room. Country Home Center, 85 Center Road, Morrisville, and online at countryhomecenter.net.
Bouncing Giacomo, Dutora, and McQuestion, a proud supporter of Wheels for Warmth, October 26th through 28th in Barrie. VDM Law has been providing valuable legal counsel to Vermonters for over 43 years. When you need a lawyer you can rely on, the experienced attorneys at VDM Law. From personal injury to real estate, environmental law to criminal defense, corporate law to estate planning, the attorneys at VDM Law can advise you. Visit VDMlaw.com for more information. Experience matters.
Just because you're away from your radio or out of our broadcast range doesn't mean you have to miss out. Listen live on the WDEV stream, brought to you by AARP Vermont. WDEV's morning, midday, and afternoon news services, Vermont Viewpoint, and the Brady Farkas Show can all be found on the WDEV stream at WDEVradio.com. Brought to you by AARP Vermont, helping Vermonters protect themselves from identity theft and fraud. More information at aarp.org/FraudWatch Network.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Yeah.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. Texter says, happy opening night to the Celtics and every NBA fan. Yeah, Celtics open up tomorrow. Says, happy third birthday to the Brady Farkas Show. Yeah, we do appreciate that. It has been awesome. And I think the text line was one of the biggest things that we have done. That's one of my favorite things about this show is our ability to get you more interactive. And now that Danny's here, maybe we can take some more calls eventually too, because when the show started, it was only me. We couldn't take any phone calls because I couldn't answer the phone calls and talk at the same time. Now that Danny's here, maybe we can open up the phone lines a little more, but we got a good thing going with the text line. A lot of people here do a great job of getting
over his bold prediction.
Yeah, Peter thinks the Spurs are going to the postseason. I don't think so. Danny, you're Mr. NBA. Do you see the Spurs with Wembanyama getting to the playoffs?
I think they'll improve a lot. I think the West is a little bit deeper, so I think they'll be on the outside. Maybe play-in area, maybe.
I mean, improve from what they win last year? Like 15 games?
Yeah, so they'll win 10, 15 more and not be a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, the West
don't have a whole lot of talent beyond Wembanyama.
The West is deeper for sure than the East. I think the Celtics are obviously excellent. I think Cleveland's going to be very good in the regular season, and I kind of agree with Adam. I think Philly is pretty good also, and then we don't know about Milwaukee. And shout out to them for getting Giannis to re-up on a 3-year deal, so good for them. I'm glad to see that, by the way. I am happy when small market teams are able to keep their stars. And I know Giannis is different. He's very loyal. We saw Dame do it in Portland for a long time before leaving, and now he's traded to Milwaukee as well. I like when small market teams can keep their stars. I think that's good. I don't need every player to play for the Knicks and every player to play for the Lakers and every player to play for the Bulls or whatever. I like when the talent is more freely distributed. I like when the talent is more widely spread out. I like when guys who come up in an organization stay in an organization. And I think there's something romantic about, a guy who like Tim Duncan is a one-team player, and like Giannis might be a one-team player. So I'm happy to see that. As for the West, Denver, excellent. I think the Lakers, if they're healthy, certainly can be good. Clippers have a lot of talent. Health has always been their question. That's always been their question. Let's see who else out there, Dave. I think Oklahoma City makes a nice jump this year. I don't know that they're, in the top 4, but I certainly think they can be a playoff team this year with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a lot of young talent there. Memphis obviously is good now. We don't know what's ever going to happen with Ja at this point, but they've got Smart. I think they're a good team. Steven Adams out for the year, though. That's a tough loss for Memphis. So I'm trying to think of like which teams I think are truly hopeless in this NBA season.
Charlotte.
Well, yeah, I guess I would say that for Charlotte. Well, Charlotte does have the number 2 overall pick of the draft, right? The kid from Alabama, Miller. So there are even the teams that are bad, there are reasons to be excited, like San Antonio. Charlotte has Miller. I think they're a little less exciting, obviously. Orlando has Paolo, last year's number 1 pick. Obviously, a guy who's an all-rookie player last year. Very good young player. I think he averaged 20 a game last season, if I'm remembering correctly, for Orlando. I'm trying to think of Detroit. Danny is a team I don't feel that high on. I know they have Cade Cunningham, who had a good rookie year last year before getting hurt, I think. But
they got some good young talent. They won't be probably a playoff team.
Detroit feels like a team that doesn't strike me as they're going to be able to do a whole lot this year. And then there's got to be someone else I'm missing out in the West.
Well, Portland's going to go right down to the bottom.
Portland. There you go. That's the one I'm missing after trading Dame. So I'll be interested to see what happens with Zion.
And your Kings still going to be in probably top 5, right?
Yeah, I think the Kings are pretty good. If we're talking about like general NBA storylines that we want to watch this year before I get into the Celtics here, obviously number 1 right now is Harden. Okay, like you got to see what happens with Harden, what that does to the 76ers, and whatever it does to the team that he ultimately goes to. I think that's a huge story. Luka pairing with Kyrie. Now, Luka's banged up right now. Kyrie had the bad ankle in preseason. What happened? Does Kyrie implode another franchise? And I think a Dallas team that has enough talent to get to the playoffs, and Luka's one of the best overall players in the league. So does Kyrie ruin Luka? That's something I'm going to be watching. Obviously, Wembanyama, you want to see him. Want to see what happens with Ja after his suspension is over and kind of where he's at, if he's able to come back and play, and when he does play, how is he, and can he stay out of trouble? What else I got here? Overall, kind of takeaway. I'm interested to see what happens with Brooklyn. Obviously, a team that I think still has some pieces, but doesn't have, obviously, the pieces they had before. Phoenix, can they get over the hump? They've got Durant, and they've gone all in here to get Beal. They've let Chris Paul go. They've traded Ayton, so they're a different team now. Young players excited to watch. I mean, like we said, Wembanyama, but also Anthony Edwards, his continued development, I think, in Minnesota is going to be a big thing this year. So I'm excited for the NBA season. And I think this is as healthy as the NBA has been in a number of years, Danny. Maybe I'm being prisoner of the moment. Maybe I'm being too much just in the now. But I don't think there's a lot of teams that just appear to be garbage. I have no idea what Washington's going to be. I don't think they're going to be great here. They've lost Beal. They've lost Porzingis. Yeah, they've got Jordan Poole in here.
He'll take 30 shots a game.
Yeah, I think Washington's probably a team I would consider to be hopeless right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Toronto has Pascal Siakam. I think he's good. They've lost Fred VanVleet. Be interested to see what happens with Houston. They've got Ime Udoka. They've got Fred VanVleet now. So see what happens with Houston. Texter says my Rockets are going to surprise some people. So we'll see. A lot of NBA storylines. M from Heinsberg says, I once ate 57 enchiladas after swim practice.
Wow.
I think it would be hard to swim after having 57 enchiladas. So I hope you had an off day the next day. All right. A couple things on the Celtics, Danny. I am very interested. We've heard a lot about this word sacrifice from this team right now, right? I heard Jason Tatum say last week that guys on this team have to be willing to sacrifice, even himself. And I heard Jaylen Brown say the same thing yesterday. And that is going to be something that's very interesting in watching. Play me the Jaylen Brown cut.
I think everybody's at that stage in their career, for the most part. So I think that we all understand that. And the game will decide. Like, the matchups will decide. We'll get to see, where the game is going to be won at. And we got to trust and let that happen. You know what I mean? From the top to the bottom, we just got to be able to trust each other to make the right reads. We got great players and do what we do. But the game will tell you, who's going to need to sacrifice and who's not.
I will be very interested in how that works out and how that plays out. My gut tells me that Jaylen Brown is right, that this team has enough guys at a certain spot in their career that they're going to be okay sacrificing. And I think what Jaylen Brown means and what Jason Tatum means is that some night someone's going to score 35, and the next night that person might score 9. And some night that person's going to take the final shot, and sometime that guy might not be on the court for the final shot. My gut tells me that Jaylen Brown is right, but I will still be interested in playing it out because ego can always hurt teams that have a lot of talent, right? Ego can always get in the way. What's that saying? The pride is greatest before the fall or whatever. Be interested in seeing how that works. I tend to think that infighting is a problem, right? Because guys are looking to establish themselves, right? Guys want to make an all-star team. Guys want to make an all-NBA team. Guys want to get a big contract. Guys want to get a second contract. So they are selfish. I think there are a lot of pro athletes that are selfish because they're all striving for something. I look at the Celtics, and these guys already have all that. Okay? Jaylen Brown has been paid $300 million. He's been paid. Jason Tatum is going to get paid. He's already got the universal recognition that he's one of the best players in the league. He wants the title, and he's already got a lot of money in his career. He's going to get more money no matter what happens this year for the Celtics. So I think he's good. I think Brown's good. Porzingis has been right? He's already been a high draft pick. He's already been the centerpiece of a team. He's already been paid. He's already been extended in Boston. So I think he's good. Drew Holiday has already won a title. He's already gotten money. He's already used to playing a complementary subsidiary role to superstars with Giannis. I think he's good. Peyton Pritchard, the young guy on the bench who is looking to establish himself, who's looking for a bigger role, he's now been paid. So I think he's good. Horford is a veteran who's been a max contract player in his career. I think he's good. So everybody on this team who is going to play a big role, I feel like has been taken care of. So I do think that Jaylen Brown's right, that they're going to be willing to sacrifice. And if that means that Kristaps Porzingis gets 28 one game and 7 the next, then so be it. Derek White is a guy who is fighting for a contract, but I don't see a lot of ego from Derek White.
None.
I'm not really worried about him. So I think these guys are good, but you still have to see how it plays out. Is Jason Tatum going to be okay getting 9 points one game and 12 points another if the Celtics win? My gut tells me yes. Doesn't mean that he will be. Is Al Horford okay playing 7 minutes one game and 26 minutes the next game? My gut tells me that he will be, but I don't know it for sure. Right? Terry Rozier in Boston was not okay with his role. He felt like he had done enough, and he wanted more playing time. And he was vocal about it, and he became a problem. Now, Rozier fits my usual narrative of a young player that wants more, and so those guys tend to be selfish. I don't think the Celtics have those guys, but I've seen it happen before here. Danny, do you agree with me that you agree with Brown and Tatum, but also think it's something to watch for?
Yeah, I think this team is mature enough to know their roles. So, I mean, there might be times when they're not playing as well, so people are pressing a little bit more, and maybe Tatum's jacking up a couple more shots than you want him to, but I think they'll know how to readjust.
I don't ever see Tatum and Brown not being on the floor at the end of the game.
No.
I think
yeah.
There will be time where Porzingis is not on. There will be a time where Horford's not on. There will be a time where Holiday's not on. I think the sacrifice more goes to them in end-of-game situation. I think Tatum and Brown will have to sacrifice some of their shot attempts for the sake of getting other people involved and getting other people buckets and things like that. But I think they're always going to be on the floor at the end of the game. I think that's probably a fair expectation. I'm also interested in Joe Mazzulla's development. We've talked a lot about his development from in terms of how does he handle the rotations and who gets minutes and who plays when, etc. But I think Joe Mazzulla's kind of newfound attitude this year is interesting. Right? He's talked about being more of himself. He's talked about believing in himself more. He's obviously more comfortable given that he's been the head guy here before. He's not out to impress people. He's not out to act different than he is, etc. Danny, give us Adam Taylor number 7 talking about Mazzulla's evolution.
You know, he mentioned not working on end of game scenarios and not working on not really preaching defense through the season, because to him, in his words, it's as second nature as brushing your teeth. Well, he's learned that you do need to harp on and preach about defense every day. You do need some end of game scenarios that you can lean on outside of just the basic sideline out of bounds plays they were running. So those are kind of the main things for me. It's just an evolution.
That's kind of from a play calling standpoint, but I also think from just just a attitude standpoint. He's talked about being more of himself and embracing expectations. And I think last year we saw Joe Mazzulla be very, very cold is the wrong word, because I think Joe Mazzulla is nice, but we saw him be very guarded, right? And I think he was like, this is how a head coach acts. This is how a first-year head coach acts. So you got to do it this way. I think this year you'll see a little more of Joe Mazzulla himself, and I'm interested in seeing how that manifests itself. And finally, Drew Holiday. I just think this guy's going to make the difference. If he stays healthy, his ability to play defense, his ability to facilitate, his ability to handle the ball, and I think he is an egoless player. I think he makes all the difference in the world for the Celtics. So I love Marcus Smart. Drew Holiday's a better version of Marcus Smart. A little older, not going to be able to do it for as long, but he's a better version of Marcus Smart. Danny, one other thing, by the way, just kind of NBA-wise, Zion. That's another thing. What's going to happen with Zion? Right?
Is he healthy?
Is he healthy? He had the offseason controversy. Well, actually, it was in season last year, I think, with kind of the women in his life. Just can he stay out of the public radar for the wrong reasons? Can he stay healthy? How's his weight look? I haven't done a whole lot of checking in on the Pelicans this preseason. Does he end up getting traded? Zion is a guy I like to watch play. And I think Zion has been generally likable until this whole thing broke last year again with kind of his personal life. See what happens with them. I'd like to see Zion be good. I'd like to see CJ McCollum and him work well together in New Orleans. Don't know if it's going to happen. It's the Brady Farkas Show, WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Patriots at the trade deadline. What are they interested in doing? Got the answer. Some insight next on DEV.
The 18th annual Big Dog Daddy Hearing Clearance Sale is going strong at Lamoille Valley Chevy. Tell them, bro. Folks, take it from me that you can tune out all the noises about strikes and supply shortages. Right now,
I had to check as I was talking to make sure Ime Udoka was the head coach of the Rockets.
With over 200 new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs available. And with the new models incoming, it is time for us to
when I get talking out of my backside on some of that NBA stuff, I double check myself.
Right now, current Chevy owners can take up to $10,000 off MSRP on a new in-stock Silverado at Lamoille Valley Chevy. And you shoppers, listen to this.
Good.
Not only will you find one of the largest selections of new Chevy car, truck, and SUVs at Lamoille Valley Chevrolet, but our lot is also packed with late model, low mileage, pre-owned vehicles, including many that are certified pre-owned and some with a better warranty than a brand new car. Folks, at Lamoille Valley Chevy, we have the inventory, and most of all, we have the desire to make deals and earn your business. So come get an awesome deal at the Big Dog Dining year-end clearance sale happening now at Lamoille Valley Chevy, located just past Stowe and Mooresville in the beautiful town of Hyde Park, Vermont. And remember, at Lamoille Valley Chevy, we know price matters.
If your winter tires are tired,
I just put up
or
the Adam
otherwise not
interview.
ready to face this winter, bring your vehicle to us at Waterbury Service Center. We have the right tires for winters, studded, all season. From tiny hybrids to 3/4 ton trucks. We wash, clean, mount, and balance your tires. Stop in today and find the tires you need and the service you deserve. We're Waterbury Service Center, helping you through another long winter. Full service repair right on Main Street in Waterbury. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bob Lake, CEO of Green Mountain Credit Union. We're proudly member-owned, which means what you deposit, we invest in your neighbors, friends, family, and small businesses that are essential to our community. And all interest and deposits made go right back to our members, continuing our philosophy of people helping people. Green Mountain Credit Union's old school lending with 21st century technology. I invite you to stop by one of our locations in South Burlington, Rutland, or Berlin, or find us at greenmountaincu.com.
Tracy Schamberger describes her experience advertising with WDEV.
When WDEV presented Age Well with an opportunity to co-present a weekly live interview, we jumped at the opportunity. We see a direct increase in calls to our helpline because of our spot on WDEV, which is exactly what we had hoped for. We have experienced incredible results.
Interested in advertising on WDEV? Contact us at WDEV@radiovermont.com.
Good signs catch your eye and promote your business. Hi, this is Trish at Always On Time Signs. We design and produce custom signs for businesses big and small. Commercial signs, safety signs, banners, window, wall, and floor graphics, and much more. You'll be impressed by our customized designs and quick service. And you'll love our competitive prices. Come see how our experienced designers can create the sign you're looking for. Always On Time Signs in Berlin, online at alwaysontimesigns.com.
Hey, it's Caleb at Waterbury Sports. There's a nip in the air, and it's time to gear up for fun on the snow. October is lease season at Waterbury Sports, and we're leasing new and used snowboards and skis, both downhill and cross country, from all the best brands. Most folks know that leasing is the best bargain, especially for the kids. If you're in the market for lease gear, give Waterbury Sports a try. Avoid the crush of big crowds and the hasty impersonal service at the big shops. We give personal service dedicated to making sure you get the right gear you need at a great price. Waterbury Sports, quality gear, quality service, quality people.
Make your opinion heard by texting onto the Brady Farkas Show at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Danny, I'm also interested in seeing Ben Simmons. I'm very much out on the Ben Simmons story and Ben Simmons' career, but I am interested in seeing, does he want to play? How does he look? Is he willing to shoot? And can he be a guy who is a respectable NBA player? Now, reports have been out that he looked very good in preseason. He was confident, and excited, happy to be there. I hope that's the case, but I'll be interested in seeing how Ben Simmons looks over the course of the next, 6 months or so. So we will see what happens. Patriots are coming up with the trade deadline. Trade deadline is a couple of weeks away in the NFL. Patriots are 2-5 right now. They certainly don't look like they're going to be a playoff team. Albert Breer, the Monday morning quarterback, was talking about the Patriots and their trade deadline kind of thoughts before the game on Sunday against Buffalo. So remember, they won that game. Breer talking beforehand of where the Patriots are at.
Well, we know they're not going to be a buyer, right? Like for the first time in a while, they're going to be in the seller category. And my understanding is they're really open to anything. They're going to listen on anyone. And I think there are three guys here that would really be in focus if you're another team. Three young guys the Patriots have failed to sign to extensions. And that's Kyle Duggar, Josh Uche, and Micah Wainu. Those guys have not come close to doing extensions yet with the Patriots. If they feel like all they're going to get out of them is the 11 games left, then I think, it makes sense for them to listen on those guys.
Trade deadline is actually next week. It's next Tuesday. October 31st is the trade deadline. So the Patriots are in a tough spot. I would love for the Patriots to be able to sit back and say, let's see what happens against Miami. Like if they If they could beat Miami and go 3-5, I think you could make the case that you should give this season a little bit longer of a leash. But you don't have very long here to wait and let that happen. I think the Patriots have to be listening this week. Does that mean they need to go and have a full fire sale? No. But if there's somebody who's making a really good offer, like Kevin Byard just got traded from the Titans over to the Eagles, and he netted, I believe, a player, Terrell Edmonds, and then a 5th and a 6th round pick. I don't think the Patriots necessarily need a player back all the time, but if they could go and get a 3rd round pick for Kyle Duggar or Peruche or whatever, I think you got to listen. I wouldn't trade Nwenu because their offensive line has been so beat up. Like, I want to have a representative product out on the field. I'd like to keep my offensive lineman that I do have and maybe ultimately sign an extension with Nwenu in the offseason. But if they get offers on players this week, you have to listen. Again, you'd like to sit here and say, well, if we win on Sunday, but that only leaves you 24 hours plus 36 hours to make deals. You got to be on the phones willing to listen now. They need draft picks. They need players. They just need more talent, and that's going to come via the draft. So if there's people out there making offers, then they need to be willing to listen. And Breer said also they need players. Like, they need draft picks. So if they can find 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, I certainly am willing to listen. All right. That is going to do it for us. Appreciate all of you for listening. All the birthday wishes that I got, I appreciate all of you for that. I think Danny.
Happy birthday!
There he is. I appreciate Danny for pulling that out of the archives there. That's awesome. That's my old buddy Arnie Spanier, Fox Sports Radio. Used to do a show with me in Burlington a couple of years ago, so that was awesome. So thanks to Danny for producing and engineering the show as always. Thanks to Adam Taylor from Celtics Blog for stopping by. You can find that interview already on our podcast channel at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and WDEVradio.com. Tomorrow is the show's 3-year birthday. We're very, very excited. So my birthday and then the show's 3-year birthday, back-to-back days. That's awesome. NLCS Game 7 is coming up. Our coverage at 7:30. First pitch is just after 8 between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. So see what happens. We're going to know our World Series matchup by the end of the night. NBA opening night tonight as well. The Nuggets and Lakers will play in about a half hour from now. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody, here in the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM and FM.
Hustle up. We've got 8 more floors to go before lunch. Sarusha's window washing business.
Danny, thank you.
Wipe, wipe, and let's roll. They need more
I will see you tomorrow.
Online reviews crystal clear.
Thank you.